The Bible often mentions the sinful nature of humans, but how is it possible that all humans are bad? On Mount Sinai, Moses received 10 commandments from God. At first glance, keeping the 10 commandments appears to be an easy task. But Jesus showed us that the heart is more than the physical. While you may have never murdered someone, stolen your neighbor's belongings, or disrespected your parents, you have probably desired to do one of these things in thought. You may be thinking thoughts cannot harm, but slowly over time, a heart filled with these corrupted thoughts becomes filled with resentment. You begin to lose trust in God, and your heart begins to harden. How many times have you objectified someone? How many times have you had a conversation with someone and failed to listen? It is only when we inspect the human heart through the eyes of Jesus that its wickedness is exposed. But God didn't desert humans. He sacrificed his son so that we could have a cure. But God's Holy Spirit is not exactly a magical pill. God's Holy Spirit works more like a radio. Sometimes a radio picks up static and requires an adjustment. For example, God may require someone bold to achieve a certain goal, but with boldness, there is a lack of humility, and with an overabundance of humility, there is a lack of boldness. Through trials and tribulation, he can teach an individual the characteristics they will need. This may sound like a simple process, but the human brain is lazy and not very flexible. What does all of this mean for you and me, though? It means that the situation is far more hopeless than you think. But this hopelessness is not a bad thing. When we are hopeless, this is when our trust in God is the strongest. Walking with him is the equivalent of being blind. It can be scary when we are faced with obstacles such as crossing the street or passing through doorways, but he will never fail us. He will safely guide us to any destination. All you have to do is lose all hope in saving yourself and begin to trust him.